Good afternoon, everybody. It's a great pleasure to be here. And can we have the slides, please? I'll just show you, I just put together a few videos. I mean, try to answer this question about what is all this talk about smart cities? You know, as Warren just said, you know, it's big, there's a big marketing campaign behind, but, you know, what is substantial and actually what is hype behind? And the first thing, oh, sorry, I just see now a spelling mistake, is cities here, change slide, we call it SENSEable City because we actually like more the idea of a city that's sensible, that is able to sense, and that actually responds more to citizens. Because in the end, we believe all of this is not about technology, it's really about us, about citizens. Now, in a couple of words, just something that happened in another field that's very similar to what is happening in smart cities. If you take Formula One, 15, 20 years ago, actually, if you wanted to win a race, you needed a good car and a good driver. And if they were good enough, you'll win the race. Today, if you want to win a race, you also need something like this. A system with thousands of sensors onto the car, collecting data and information in real time, sending it to those computers, and then making decisions in real time. In other terms, as engineers, is what we call a real-time control system, which is really the basic of every dynamic system, the basic of life, is sensing and actuating. When we meet each other, we sense each other, we shake hands, we collect information, we touch each other, we smell each other, and then we respond to that. So that's really the basic of every dynamic system. Now, the amazing thing, and this is why there is something actually under smart city and what is happening today, this is the incredible thing that's happening today, is that our cities are starting to behave like that Formula One racing car. They've been covered, layered, with many, many digital type of information, with sensors, with networks. Think about the cell phone network didn't exist 30 years ago, and now it's exploding for data, for voice. And all of this is allowing us to understand them in a different way and to actually interact and interface with them in a different way. Almost as if every atom out there of the physical world were becoming both a sensor and an actuator. Now, just having said that, just in the remaining few minutes, I just want to share with you some projects as an example of what we can do today. We can sense things in a different way. In this case, we look at trash. If you take a computer, you know everything about chips, how they move to become this computer, but when you throw it away, you don't know. Sometimes it ends up like this, where it shouldn't. So we decided to put little tags onto trash and follow trash. Here it was the first deployment. You can see we started tagging many, many different objects. Can we have the audio, please? And then after tagging them, we started following them. This is 3,000 objects, 500 volunteers from Seattle. You see the day of deployment. After a few days, you see the main landfills next to Seattle. A lot of things end up there. But then, big surprise, actually, things have been traveling for 1,000 kilometers. Nobody expected this. Sometimes in a clumsy way. See, the trace went all the way to Chicago, to then go down to Baja California. Especially e-waste, cell phones, cartridges, all of these electronic things still moving after more than 1 month, 2 months. We thought the Fireworks Symphony was the music we needed for this. But anyway, this is an example of how we can sense things in a different way. Here's another example of how this layer of technology can actually change the most basic things in our life, like a bicycle. This was based on a question by the mayor of Copenhagen, who came to us asking all of this pervasive, ubiquitous computing, how can it change traffic? Now, traffic in Copenhagen actually means something like this. Copenhagen had a lot of cars a few decades ago, now has a large amount of bicycle. 30 to 50% of all trips every day is done by bicycle. So we came up with this idea.
Welcome to the Copenhagen Wheel, the wheel that turns your ordinary bike into a smart electric hybrid. Quickly and easily, with no additional batteries or wires. The Copenhagen Wheel allows you to capture the energy dissipated while braking and cycling, and save it for when you need a bit of a boost. Controlled through your smartphone, the Copenhagen Wheel becomes a natural extension of your everyday life. The Copenhagen Wheel is your personal trainer, sensing your effort level and providing you with real-time feedback about your fitness and exercise goals. The Copenhagen Wheel also enhances your experience of the city. It connects you with things a cyclist wants to know: upcoming traffic congestion, road conditions, and pollution levels. Choose to keep your data, or share it with your friends and other cyclists through social networks like Facebook. As you ride, you also collect green miles. It's similar to a frequent flyer program, but good for the environment. Elegant, responsive, smart. A new mode of transport for a rapidly changing world. So turn on your life and turn on the city. The Copenhagen Wheel.
And well, here you can see the city and the bicycle in the city with the mayor of Copenhagen. Just a final thing, so all of this is actually changing our individual behavior. We can get information, it's changing our objects. It's really changing as a response all of our buildings and cities. So we're involved in a few new cities projects all across the world, from Latin America to the Middle East and Russia and Asia. But I want to finish just with a couple of images of how it's changing architecture. With this project, it's a building for the World Expo in Zaragoza in Spain in 2008. And the mayor came to us asking, the theme of the Expo was water. And he said, can we use water today in a new way because of technology? So this idea came up of actually having a pipe, as you see here, with many valves opening and closing very fast and creating like a living curtain made of water. Something where you can write, you can show images, pattern that will respond to you when you approach it and you jump. So we got the commission to design the building at the entrance of the Expo. The whole building is made of water. All the walls are watered, where you can actually, as you see, you can show cuts, images, patterns. No doors or windows. When you approach it, it opens up to let you in. When you're inside, actually, all of the walls will can move and expand and shrink based on the people you have. So the cafe expands if there's more people, if you need more space. The roof is also covered with a thin layer of water. And then if there is too much wind, actually you can lower the roof to minimize splashing. Or at the end of the day, you can actually close the building and the whole architecture disappears. Hopefully without anybody underneath. But here's the building before the opening. You see, the building becomes almost like a computer that responds to you. This guy was very puzzled if you look at his face. Here it was the digital and the physical, adding projections onto the water at the opening. Here it was myself trying not to get wet. But actually one night where all the sensors stopped working, all the sensors are controlled by a computer, the computer crashed. So that night we were terrified. We didn't know what would happen, but that night was actually one of the most fun nights when thousands of kids from Zaragoza, from the city, came to the building to play a new game like this. Oh, can you just press for the video? I don't know why it didn't start. Can you just press play on the video? I don't know why, if you just put the mouse in. Yeah, if you can just press the arrow, it will start. I don't know why it didn't start automatically. No. If you go back one. Okay. You can just press play on the left. To the left, there's a little arrow. Okay. Sorry, but okay. Okay. Can we just press the little arrow? Okay. Thanks. If you click there. All right. Well. Can we just click? Okay. All right, we'll skip it. We'll skip it. That was the last one. I'm sorry, it was very fun, actually. People started playing with the building in a radically new way, and for me, that was actually the fact that as engineers, as designers, we always design things that we think how people will interact with, but actually reality, and especially human reality, is always a surprise, and that's what we should start with when we design smart cities. Thank you.